So the answer is, I don't really know. And the question is, oh yeah, the question is this one. OUD LAIL MALEKI by Lattafa. I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be upfront, and I'm going to say to you, this is not an easy wear. And I've got to be honest, this is not an easy review. I'm really struggling with this one. First of all though, a massive warm welcome to a John Legg fragrance review. I'm not a professional reviewer, I'm just a crazy random guy, John Legg, with a massive collection of fragrances, a passion for fragrances, and my aim is to pass on that passion to you so that hopefully you will wear a good fragrance every single day. So welcome to this review. Okay. A few weeks back, we looked at this one, Lail Maleki, the original. Okay, and now we're looking at OUD LAIL MALEKI. This one, now, its performance is kind of unreal. Okay, it's an 8 to 10 hour fragrance, sets up a scent bubble around you, and it sort of, as a wearer, you smell it for at least 6, 8, 10 hours. You know what, this stuff just goes on for a mighty long time. The downside with this one is that everyone I sprayed it for told me it smelled like their nan, their gran, their grandma, and it's that kind of fragrance. It won my heart with its performance, and I ended up absolutely loving this fragrance because it works so hard. And you know, at the 6th, 7th, 8th hour, it's still pumping its little heart out, and I had a massive respect for this fragrance. It's not for everyone. Once again, it's not a particularly easy wear because it is that kind of very oriental sort of vibe. It's sort of a sweet sort of pineapple fruity note over a lot of musk. There's some amber in there, and you know what, it's not an easy wear, but it wins your heart on its performance, and it is a nice smell in the end. Okay. So this one, I had a message for someone. They said, "Oh, Leggy, have you ever tried the OUD version?" I'm like, no. So I had to try it. Okay. Underneath the OUD is a very nice fragrance. But the OUD, I don't know how to put this really. Yeah, I do actually. The OUD has got this fragrance in a stranglehold. So realistically, you smell the OUD and a hint of the fragrance. Okay. Now, all right, there are various kinds of OUD. You can have the skanky sort of almost rotting kind of OUD. It's not that. You can have a nice smooth OUD. It's not that. Sometimes you can have like a bitty kind of OUD. It's not that. Sometimes you can have a medicinal kind of OUD, and you know what, it probably is most likely what you'd call a medicinal kind of OUD. I would call it a very traditional Arabic OUD. Okay, and you're going to say, Leggy, spray it and tell us about it. Okay. You're going to smell, you know what, quite often Lattafas, when it's the same bottle but it's two different names, there's no relation between the two. There is a hint of the original DNA of the original Lail Maleki. Only a hint. The OUD. The OUD is just so dominating in this one. Okay, and if you've heard scare stories about OUD, and if you're concerned about OUD, I would stay clear from this fragrance, because realistically, I say underneath, all right, you're going to get a little bit of fruit. Okay, in my brain, I kind of convinced myself that it's the pineapple-y sort of note out of the original Lail Maleki. It's very difficult to tell. There is a fruity note at the top, Then there's a floral, which I'm guessing is jasmine. It's that very traditional sort of the way the Arabs use the jasmine in the middle. And the jasmine's there, it's nice. You scarcely get it because of the oud. And then there's a sort of, man, I'm struggling with this review. Then there's a sort of a sugary note. It's not a burnt sugar like in ragbar, and it's not a sort of a caramelly sort of sugar. To me, because of the way the oud is over this fragrance, it's a kind of a bitty kind of sugar. Okay, it's, you know, quite often you spray a fragrance and you kind of want to bite your skin because it's that kind of real sort of edible kind of sugar. This is a kind of a sugary note, but it's not an edible kind of sugar. If I'm making any sense, fair play to you. And fair play to me as well. But no, oh man, this is so difficult to describe. The oud realistically has got this fragrance, and you get little hints of the sort of fruit, little hints of the floral, little bits of the bitty sort of sugar, but realistically it is a very traditional Arabic oud, and that is kind of dominating this fragrance. You know, I said at the start, it's not an easy wear. It is not an easy wear. You know, quite often I'm on these reviews just saying, you know, something like Ram Silver, just buy it, trust me, you'll just love it from first sniff. This, okay, the performance on this is very similar to the original. It is a long-term performance, okay? Like it or loathe it, this fragrance is with you for at least 5 hours. I've sort of smelt it up to sort of 8-9 hours, okay? And to be fair, it will actually go through a shower and it will still be there as a skin scent. Man, I'm really hoping I'm making sense on this one because I'm really struggling with this fragrance review. Would I recommend that you dash out and buy it? No, I honestly, hand on heart, hand on crocodile, I cannot say go out and buy this one. Because you, like me, will probably really struggle. Yes, its performance is amazing. And yes, there is a nice fragrance buried under the oud. But the oud is kind of pretty much all you smell, realistically. So don't dash out and buy it. In terms of the price and in terms of availability, I got it on eBay. It cost me, I think it's just under £13, 100ml eau de parfum delivered. So it's fantastic value for money and it's a fantastic performance. But you know what? If you're the kind of guy who says, oh, I don't really like the really Arabic kind of fragrances, you know, that very traditional Arabic fragrance, avoid this one. If you're the kind of guy like me who goes, you know what, I'll rate it because of its performance and I'll probably end up loving it, and that's probably what's happened with me because I have worn it quite often. And you're going to say, Leggy, have you given it enough chance? I've only had it for a couple of weeks and I'm still struggling with it. You know, this one, I became an absolute fan of this one, even though the smell's kind of slightly off-putting at the start because of its performance. This one, I am still learning to love with it. You know, I believe that most fragrances you can end up learning to love because maybe the performance is amazing, or maybe you become so accustomed to it, it becomes something which you enjoy. Now, I've waffled for an awful long time and I've struggled with this one. I hope you forgive me. I've done my utmost best. I'll give you the warnings, I'll give you the positives. I've said the performance is solid, the fragrance is good, but it's not an easy wear, and I've kind of told you as much as I can about this fragrance. Right. Old Lail Maleki. I'm going to leave it with you. Okay. I really appreciate you coming to see this video. I really appreciate you viewing it. I really appreciate a thumbs up. That would be awesome. And I'd love to see you next time. So in the meantime, stay safe. Spray fragrance every single day. Every single day. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.